Alright, what's happening? I'm back. It's been a while, but I got distracted because I was watching a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh! I got a little bored. But I'm back. And now, I'm gonna be ranking these motherfucking characters. Because I'm fucking bored and why not? And I don't know who made this tier list, but shout out to you. Basically narrowed down the character list a lot to just the main ones. There are a few notable ones missing, but they weren't really important anyways. You got the main important ones here. And let's see where they rank on the tier list. We have the Egyptian God tier, the Great tier, okay, and then Shadow Realm for those poo-poo characters that nobody cares about. So let's just go in order from what they have. Let's start things off with Evil Merrick. I mean, Merrick himself is kind of bad to begin with, right? Evil Merrick, I mean, he's a good villain. I like I like him, but it's mostly just because of the Egyptian god cards, right? I like the Winged Dragon of Ra. I like his shtick. Um, I guess I like him more than the good Merrick, but the good Merrick isn't really good. You know what I mean? We'll put him in the Egyptian god card tier though, because he has an Egyptian god card, right? We gotta put him in there. He's probably the best villain in the show, really. You get a lot of lore with him. He's just a really cool character. Next up, we got Darts, named after the cigarette. Probably, he kind of gives off Pegasus vibes, right? Gives off Pegasus vibes. He controls the Great Leviathan. And, he kind of just feels like a copy of Merrick. They wanted to make another Merrick, but doesn't do it as well. I'll put him in the okay tier. He's just kind of, I wasn't really feeling it. I didn't feel it as much with him that I felt with Merrick. He was just a generic bad guy, wanted to take over the world. His whole reason was because people are evil and we need to rid the people to make a perfect world. But in doing so, he was just being an asshole and ruining people's lives. Like, he is the bad dude. So I don't understand his shtick. He's just okay. I mean, the show is cringe, right? I mean, it's not a good show, but it's an entertaining show. Next, we got Duke Devlin. Oh my god, this is such a weird character, right? Because he comes in one episode as this just generic, he's in a filler episode, right? He's just a generic fucking douchebag nobody cares about, right? And, you never hear from him again. Then all of a sudden he's just a part of the gang, and we're supposed to act like this guy's like their best friend, and he's one of the core members of the gang. He's not one of the core members of the gang. He's just a random guy who joined them on this adventure. But I have to say, I like him. I like him. I like his gambling. So I'll put him in the great tier. I like him. I got a soft spot for Duke. Okay, this guy I actually don't even know his name. I think his name is Gozubora Kaiba? I could be wrong. It's Kaiba and Mokuba. I call him Kaiba, Seto Kaiba, whatever. Kaiba's name is Kaiba, okay? That's his name. Basically, he's Kaiba's dad, okay? Stepdad. Such a weird villain, but I don't like him. He's kind of irrelevant. He's just a dick. And that just treated everybody like shit, including his own family. He's just a weird guy and a douchebag, and he's trapped in a video game. I mean, he's Season 3 character, spoiler alert. We'll talk about him as well, if you can see this. I did not like these Season 3 characters. I'll explain why when we talk about Noah, but, I don't really care too much for Kaiba's dad. Whatever. Shadow Realm, you go. Here we got Ishizu, Merrick's sister. And I like Merrick's sister, but she's just kind of there, right? She just I wish they could have done more with her. She's just kind of there. She just battles and loses once. She gives the Egyptian god cards. I like how they just randomly introduce her, don't explain anything about her, and then just drop a whole bunch of story on you. Like, what? And then never bring her up until the end of the season again. But, she's cool. I just wish they could have done more with her. She's got such a cool appearance and a cool backstory, but they don't really talk too much about it. So I'll put her in the okay tier. Very unfortunate. I wish she could be. I want to put her here. I want to put her here, but I can't. Just not enough. Oh my goodness. I mean, whoever made this tier list did a fantastic job picking the images. This is an iconic Joey image, and if you know, well, Joey shouldn't even. Joey's obviously an Egyptian god card tier, right? He's obviously a top tier character in the show. Monsters, real monsters. I mean, legend. He's always the third best. You got a soft spot for him at all times. Cringe levels through the roof. The Boston accent, why? He's not from Boston at all? It's just great. It's amazing. Kaiba. Oh my goodness. I mean, you gotta put Kaiba in the Egyptian god tier. The question is he better than Joey? They're both great, right? I hated Kaiba at first. Kaiba, like, first season's kind of down here, and then he just slowly grows on you to become a great character. I mean, this guy got in a plane crash, and the first thing he said getting off was, "What are you geeks doing here?" This is what goes through this man's head. He's the guy who hosts a tournament, and when he loses, he blows up the whole island. I mean, he calls Joey a dog 20,000 times in one duel. It's just great. He's such an asshole in everything he does. There's no good thing, and even when he's doing good things, it's like, you still hate him because he sounds like a dick. I gotta put him above Joey. He's just such a great character. He's such an asshole. And like they always try to have these moments where he never changes. He's not a dynamic character. He stays the exact same, even though they try to tell him there's this magic in the world. You know, you're a prophet. You're destined to do all these great things. He just doesn't believe him. He's great. I mean, what else there to say? Blue eyes with this guy's the master of the blue eyes. This guy stole a blue eyes and ripped it up in the first episode and then whipped out 3. Legendary. I mean, I have to say it. Mai is like, I would put her at the top of great, but I'm gonna put her at the bottom of S, and here's why. Probably one of the only characters in this entire show to go through some sort of change, right? Go through some sort of a personality change. There's not a lot of dynamic characters. If you meet a character, they're probably going to be like that for the rest of the show. Mai's one of those few that actually changes. And then they kind of ruin it all with this season with this guy, Darts. The season with Darts, they ruined it all and put her back to how she was. But she's just great. She comes out like this tough, I do it all on my own, dick. But, she ends up joining the gang and just being a core member, and just, you end up liking her. I love the chemistry with Joey. The friendship bond is real. A great duelist as well. She can compete with these guys. So I'm gonna put her up here. I'm gonna even put her up above Merrick. I think I'm gonna put her above Merrick. Merrick's great, but he's still the bad guy. You don't see enough of him. I mean, you see a lot of Mai, and Mai's a great character. Okay, good guy Merrick. I mean, he's still a good villain, good guy Merrick, but he drives a motorcycle, right? There's an episode where he drives a motorcycle, and they don't even explain it. He's just driving a motorcycle, and then they have to explain it like 20 episodes later. Oh yeah, he likes motorcycles. Oh, okay. His plan, his reasoning for being a villain kind of makes sense, to be honest. I actually feel for him. He just wants to live his life, and for some reason born into this world where he has to just wait underground for the Pharaoh. I mean, I kind of understand him. That fucking sucks. Now that I'm talking about him, his character's actually pretty deep. Merrick's a great character. Okay, I'm just gonna say he's a great character. I like him. And he holds the Millennium Rod, which I will just leave it at that. His item is called the Millennium Rod. I'll leave that in the hands of whoever ends up seeing this. Pegasus is great. I mean, Pegasus. This guy invented the game. He invented the game. He's got the Millennium Eye. Yugi boy. Ooh. He's just so evil and menacing. And his shtick is stupid. He's so cringe. He's just trying to get the Millennium Items. This guy's trying to get the Millennium Items to be free. This guy's trying to get the Millennium Items to bring back, like, a girl that we don't know if she died or what happened or anything. We don't really know. But that's his shtick. But I like Pegasus. The OG villain. I mean, you gotta love. He beats Kaiba in it. I mean, he's just great. He's just great. Okay, he's just great. I'm gonna put him above Kaiba, below Joey, okay? Because he's just such a great villain. I love that hair. Okay, Mokuba, Shadow Realm tier, right? Nobody cares about Mokuba. It's Kaiba's younger brother, just an annoying sidekick. And we all hate Mokuba. Who doesn't hate Mokuba? Wah, wah, wah. I will admit, story-wise, he's probably here because it's funny to watch all these, like, grown men in suits. Probably have their, you know, business degrees and shit, just taking orders from a fucking 12-year-old and calling him sir. Mokuba also knows how to fly a plane, which is hilarious, but I'll put him above his dad, but he's still in the Shadow Realm tier. And I hate to do this to the Kaiba family. You're lucky Kaiba's such a great character, but Noah Kaiba, Shadow Realm strictly for the fact that you had this good storyline going with the Merrics. In Nishizu, and you start learning about the background of the Pharaoh and the Egyptian god cards and all that. Then they just put that on hold and said, oh yeah, we forgot about Kaiba's story. Let's just throw in this character and send him to a virtual world for like 50 episodes. Not even a good villain. He was just being played by his dad. I mean, nobody cares about it. I just don't care about him, and that is not a good thing. So you're going to the Shadow Realm. And I mean, like regular Bakura, I'm actually serious. I'm only putting him okay just because he has like some sort of weird British hybrid accent. He's irrelevant. He has a Millennium Item. You don't really care about him. And you barely really see him because even when he is him, he's actually the evil Bakura, which is great. But whenever you see him as the good one, which is very rare, you don't really care. He's just kind of there. So I'll put him just okay because of his accent's cool. Rex Raptor. First of all, great name. I did not know that was his name. Great name. He's got the dinosaurs and a red eyes until he lost it in like the second episode to Joey. But regardless, you know, I like his voice. He sounds angry all the time. His name's cool. I'll put him above Bakura. Serenity doesn't quite. I want to put Serenity in the Egyptian god tier, but I can't. I'll put her in the great tier, and I'll put her above Duke Devlin, just because she's such a cringe character. It's so funny, and she was blind, and that whole scene where she magically gets her sight back and dives underwater and frees Joey from an anchor like 200 feet in the ocean. I mean, it's just a great, just a great scene. Great for the great tier. That's just great stuff right there. Not a very deep character. It's fun to see Duke and Tristan hitting on her. You know, they're both battling to see who wins her heart, but her heart's always going to belong to Joey, her brother. Kinda strange, the love bond there. It's a little too much sometimes, but hey, who am I to judge, right? I actually don't know this guy's name. I just know him as Grandpa. Gramps. Yugi's grandpa. I mean, the first episode with this guy is just great. The first episode of Yugioh is the best episode. I always say that. Yeah, he doesn't really do much, though, but whenever I see him, it's great, because he's always getting beat up. There's always something happening to him. But you don't see enough of him. You don't see enough of him to warrant putting him in, but I'll put him at the bottom of grade, actually. Because whenever you see him, he's just a fun, nice old man. He believes in the heart of the cards. He taught Yugi everything he knows, you know. Just an overall good dude. Clearly knowledgeable about the game. Taught Joey everything he knows, too. And such a cringe guy. I gotta honor the cringe a little bit. Speaking of honoring the cringe, Taya. Taya's one of those ones, she's just so cringe. The cringiest character in this show is Taya. And I'll put her at the top of great, but she's not going to go to the Egyptian god tier because I can only take so much cringe, right? And I like Taya. I like her friendship thing going on. She's the best friend in the world. You would always want to have Taya as your friend because she's so supportive and so nice, but it's a little too much sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like, if I had someone cheer me on a duel like that, I'd be like, come on, Taya. Seriously, relax a little bit. I don't need that much support. But the fact that she is so supportive and so cringe all the time and always in trouble, it's just great. She's good for her role as a side character. She's good for her role as a side character, I'll say that. But but she's not like a main character, and she's not going to belong in the Egyptian God tier. But she's great as a side character. I like Taya. Tristan, not as much. Out of the main four, the core four gang members, Tristan's like my least favorite. Because he's just kind of there and I don't really care about him. And I honestly don't think many people would disagree with that. You like him more I like his beef with Duke. But I kind of like Duke more. Tristan is just kind of there. His whole shtick is just he's a tough guy. He never even fights in a duel. He fights in a duel like once. Taya fought in a duel. And Tristan never fights in a duel. He's just kind of there, but be out of honor being part of the core gang and part of the friendship circle. I'll put him here, but he's not better than Duke. Duke's still better. Oh, Weevil Underwood, I think. I don't like this guy, okay? I don't like him. I get it. He's supposed to be an asshole. He's supposed to be just like a nerdy dick with friggin' bugs. And he's good at being an asshole. So I'll put him like here. We see a lot of him, but he's just kind of always a dick, and he's just an asshole. Like throughout the Yugioh cards, his voice is so annoying, and I get that that's the point. Is whoever voices him does a great job, but I don't like him. I don't like him, and if he was sent to the Shadow Realm, good riddance, leave him there. Don't like this guy. Evil Bakura, I have to say, this is a personal little treat of mine whenever this guy's on the screen, atop of the Egyptian god character. I mean, it's such a legendary character because you think he's dead, right? And then a season later, you just find out that this guy we thought was the good nice guy Bakura was never the nice guy Bakura. It was the bad Bakura. Which means that he actually kind of also is this character. In a way, these two are kind of the same. Unlike other characters like the evil Merrick and good Merrick that, clearly they're always split up. But this character just kind of like yeets this guy out of the story and takes over everything. And I love the fact that he's always switching it up and you never know his plan. And you never know really what he's thinking. What's he gonna do? Just a bunch of random things happen with him. He randomly fights Merrick for some reason. Why? He randomly teams up with Merrick, he randomly fights Merrick, randomly fights Yugi, sometimes helps them out. You never know what he's going to do, and I love the mystery behind him. And, yeah, I'm just going to put him, I won't put him ahead of Kaiba and Joey, though, but I'll put, these guys you just see way more, and they're just fantastic characters, but I'll still put him up here in the Egyptian god character. I love Bakura, the evil one at least. Because first of all, he's evil and you never know. I like the mystery with him. And that's what gets me. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, the Pharaoh obviously is the best character in the show. I don't have to say anything else. Heart of the fucking cards. This guy draws the card he needs every time. This man is all about friendship, all about honor, all about believing in yourself. All about showing respect to the heart of the cards, and you gotta love it. so much background, so much mystery to him when you first start watching. He's just great. And what makes him better is that I don't actually like the regular Yugi as much. Which means whenever he transforms into the Pharaoh, I'm just like, oh, thank God I don't have to hear Yugi anymore. I can listen to the Pharaoh now. And, he's always fighting for the good side, and he's just great, right? Guy of the Fierce Knights whips out Guy of the Fierce Knight, whips out Dark Magician. Just great. Some of my favorite cards. He whips them out all the time. Awesome stuff. But regular Yugi I hated, and then slowly you kind of get to like him more. He kind of reminds me of Taya, and I'm going to put him right behind Taya because of that, because they're both just so cringe. They're such cringe characters. I like the friendship stick, but they value friendship too much, a little bit. It's a little too cringe sometimes, guys. It's not that deep, alright? But Yugi's great. I mean, there's so much mystery to him as well. Like, how did he get this hairstyle? How did he get the Millennium Puzzle? At this point in the show, I still don't know how this man got the Millennium Puzzle. I don't know how he's able to transform into an older version, or not even, presumably more older and much deeper voice version of himself from the past. He's the leader of the group. I like that he's small. I like that he's so tiny. It's cute. I have to be honest, I like Yugi. I'll put him ahead of Taya, but he won't quite make the great tier. I like Yugi. But the thing that holds him back is that he's just a little too cringe, and that's what holds him back from the Egyptian God card. The Egyptian God card tier, they either embrace their full character, right? Yugi sometimes is cringe, but he sometimes wants to be tough, and he sometimes, I don't know how to describe it. I just gonna be honest, I just prefer the Pharaoh, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. We're gonna have to, okay, I'll move the Grandpa down because we don't see him enough. And I'll move the Merrick's to great. Yeah, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Just to make it a bit more even. I'm gonna move the Merrick's to great. And I'm gonna move Tristan down a tier. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna leave it like this. I like this a bit more. It looks a bit cleaner. These characters, these characters either I don't care about, we don't see enough of, but they're just okay, or we do, in Tristan's case, we see him all the time, but I just don't really care for him that much still, which is not good. Shadow Realm characters I actually don't like. The great characters are, most of these characters are characters that I didn't like at first that kind of grew on me. This is a good way to describe it. And then the final tier, this is the characters that, are just legendary characters and have so many great moments. I mean, Joey, Kaiba, and the Pharaoh. I mean, you could argue Yugi. I would want to rank them together, because together they would be the best character. I like the dynamic between them, but if I'm only doing them individually, I'm gonna order it like that. But these characters have so many epic duels, epic moments, cringe lines. It's great. It's great. We all know this show is cringe and it's bad. It's not a quality show, but it's fun to watch as, almost like a sort of comedy. And then once you're into it, you kind of get into the story because you're thinking, oh, I kind of want to see what happens next with the story. The story is interesting itself, but the dialogue, this has to be some of the worst dialogue ever written in any TV show. But I digress. This is my tier list. Let me know the thoughts. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Take care.